Have you recently purchased a new or used vehicle, or perhaps you're researching for a new or used vehicle, but you're wondering how to set up and use all the technology that we find in a driver's information system and the infotainment screen? If so, you're at the right place. Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and today I'm going to show you how to do just that. But before I do, take a moment to give us a like and hit that subscribe button down below. Let's get started.
Today we're working with our friends at Mankato Volkswagen in beautiful Mankato, Minnesota.
All right, welcome to our how-to on the 2021 Volkswagen ID.4 dashboard and infotainment screen. So the driver screen itself, the actual digital screen is 5.3 inches, and the actual plastic outline goes from about 7 to about 8 inches. Now, there's not a lot you can do on this screen. Pretty much what you see is what you get. So you have driver safety systems on the left, and then you have, of course, your speed. It tells you you're in park. It gives you your range. Gives you some seatbelt information, and then over on the far right, you have your gear selector. Now, there are a couple of things you can do. So on the far left of the steering wheel in the dashboard is your light switch, and there's a mode button. And if I press the mode button once, you'll notice I get auto, low beam, and then some options, and then of course it disappears. If you keep pressing that switch, you can go rotate between them. All right, so then you also have a sort of a poor weather light button in the same location right by that mode button. And if you click that on, you can choose to have it on, or if you push it a second time, it goes off. All right, so you can switch between on and off. And again, that's using the buttons that are right on the left of the steering wheel on the dashboard itself. Okay, coming back to the steering wheel controls themselves, they're a haptic feedback, what we call a soft touch button. So there's no actual button there. All right, on the left side of the steering wheel, you have your cruise control buttons. And right now it is on. If I press it again, it goes off. Press it again, and I get my cruise control. Now, this does have adaptive cruise control. So if you want to switch between adaptive and regular cruise control, you can use these mode buttons up here, and it lights up. So there's regular cruise control, okay? And then here is adaptive cruise control, okay? And then you can just click the button, and then you'll feel a haptic feedback. I happen to like adaptive, so we'll switch back here and click on that. Now, your adaptive cruise control, your gap setter, is right here on this button, and then you can just press it like a normal car to increase your gap, or and then it goes back to 0. So it goes all the way up and then all the way down. You can set it right here. You can resume it right here, and then you can increase. You can see the digital speedometer underneath that screen moving, and so you can increase or decrease it there. This button right here will give you your travel assist. Over on the right side of the steering wheel, you have media controls, but down here you've got one little thing that you can switch with the view. And if I go like this, you'll see that the safety systems for the driver's information screen get larger and smaller. Okay, but that is all you can see. Everything else is in the infotainment screen. Also on the right side of the steering wheel, of course, you have your voice command button. You have volume. You can tap it like this to increase or decrease your volume, and then you can change through stations. So that's it on the driver's information screen. Next, we'll move over to the infotainment screen and take a look at that. All right, so the infotainment screen itself is 12 inches. The standard side is 10 inch, so this is the larger of the two screens. It has 7 speakers. We're not quite sure of the wattage, but there's no brand name for the audio part of it. So it's just a Volkswagen audio system. And it has wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, AM and FM radio, HD radio, and Sirius XM, as well as Bluetooth. So over here on the left side of the screen, this part stays all the time. This is your home button right here. These are not heated seat buttons. I'll explain those. But you tap on them, it brings up the climate. Then you can adjust your seat. Both driver and passenger, of course, have heated seats. And this is where your heated steering wheel button is also located. Now, once you've done that, of course, and X out of it, it'll show that this heated seat is on. Now, there are three sort of home screens. You got the app view. You can swipe, and then you've got a split view where you've got your navigation, you've got your media, vehicle, and telephone. And then you've got one more here where you've got a different kind of screen. So you've got your phone, you've got information on the vehicle, settings, media, and help. Now, within this screen itself, you've got 3 more dots, so you can swipe back and forth between different pieces of information. Basically, I think it would operate kind of like a trip meter. Okay, so let's go back to the dots here. And one of the things that's, let's say I click on telephone here. I'll go to settings, and I can say select cell phone. And then it's going to say available devices. So in a minute here, my phone should pop up. On my phone, I've got a message that popped up that I can click onto the car's system. Pops up right there. Okay. And then it wants to check the password. Of course, we want to say yes, it does. It'll ask if you want to sync your contacts and favorites. I'm going to click don't allow, but if this is your car, of course, you'd want to do that so the car had access to those contacts. All right, I want to do Apple CarPlay. So it's going to connect, and now on my phone it says use CarPlay or not now. I hit use CarPlay, and that should then become my go-to. There it is, right there. So now I can shut my phone off and stick it back on the charger, and we have Apple CarPlay. So the setup is relatively easy. So if you want to go back to your normal system, you should just be able to hit that home button, and there you go. So now Apple CarPlay shows up as an icon. Once you hook up Apple CarPlay, that's what your phone's going to go through. So the telephone button here is just going to give you the SOS emergency phone call. Okay, if I go back here to Apple CarPlay, now I have all my phone functions. Okay, recents, contacts, keypad, voicemail, all that kind of stuff. All right, you also have your music, and then of course you have navigation. Now the navigation button automatically goes to Google Maps. However, you will notice if I press this button here, I not only have Google Maps, but I have Apple Maps, and I have Waze that I can use. So there's a lot of different, almost any navigation you can use on the system. All right, so let's get back to this screen. So that's telephone. And because I'm hooked to Apple CarPlay, it's going to default to using that for my phone. Radio media. If I click on there, okay, the first thing that pops up is, of course, my radio presets. All right, if you want to delete those, you're just going to click on that pencil and click on the trash can, and it takes them off. Or you can delete all. All right, if I go down to radio, okay, I can look. These are Sirius XM categories because I'm on Sirius XM. But if I switch here to FM, then I can search by frequency, genre, or HD radio first. Okay, so I can scroll through things here. However, I can also pull from the left, or I can pull from the right. Okay, and then here I can have a mute on, and I can also just tune. Okay, so if I go forward here, I change stations. And I go backwards, I can play stations, and then I can hit the pause button if I want. I can also look at live. Okay, and then if I want it as a favorite, click there, and then if I go back to my favorites, it shows up right there. Okay, coming down, so that's how to tune the radio, it's how to add a favorite. If I go down to media, I can either select Bluetooth, and if I click on it, I get another menu here. Which phone do you want it being pulled from? Okay, I'm going to go backwards a button. If I click on my media, then it'll take a look at any music I have and again, the source is Bluetooth. Okay, so albums, genres, tracks, podcasts, audiobooks, compilations. So to give you a lot of ways to search. I still have this little pull menu here, and right now it's telling me for some reason it's not connected, but my guess is if you had a cable, maybe that would be different. But all right, so if I go down to alerts, I'll get any alert that the radio system sends. And then if I go down to settings, if I go to settings for radio, I can have my arrow keys do a couple of things. I can have them show presets or all stations. Okay, so that's kind of important while you're doing a search. You want to see every single station, or do you want to just see presets? You can turn on and off radio text by clicking. Same with FMHD radio, same with emergency alerts. You can do some settings with station logos here. You can set the audio quality here to high or low. Then you've got Sirius XM settings right here. All right, so let's go backwards. If I look at media settings, then I can select my Bluetooth audio device and I can look at Wi-Fi settings. Okay, let's press the home button and let's go. We've already been to Apple CarPlay. Here's where you adjust sound. So right here, they give you a nice graphic in the background and you can slide up or down your bass, mid, and treble. If I click on there, it centers everything. Now, down here, this next little button here, I can drag around the balance. I can also click on center. All right, then I can go down to volume itself, and I can do voice operation volume, and I can do speed dependent volume increase, which just means as your car gets going faster, the volume gets louder to cover noise, which there isn't a lot of an electric vehicle. Maximum startup volume. I'm going to put that there because otherwise every time you get in the car, the system comes on. Infotainment system volume lowering when parked. So you can adjust that so that it automatically lowers when you park. And you have a goodbye tone and then voice guidance. So if I click on there, okay, I can make it active or not active. I can make it comprehensive, brief, notification tone only, or off. During calls, I can have it on, notification only, or off. And then I can adjust the volume of it. And then I can have the infotainment system lower its volume while the voice guidance is on. So quite a few ways to customize that. All right, and that's volume. If I go to setup right here, then I can have infotainment touchscreen tone, so it beeps every time I touch it, on or off. Tone for other buttons, so if you want that audio feedback, you can have that on. Hand gesture tone and goodbye tone. All right, so let's go back to home here for a minute. And one other feature I should show you here. So we got 3 screens right here. If I go like that, it swipes. So it's hand sensitive, which is kind of cool. All right. Let's talk about navigation for a minute. It's got a nice display. The screen is very, very clear. So to plot a route, first of all, you can look up here under destinations and you can do a search. So it'll suggest some things you can enter in an address or a POI, right? Or you can look at just suggestions. And I think it's an AI thing where it kind of learns maybe what you like when you're in certain areas. You can look at last destinations and you can look at favorites. So you can set for home and you can set for work. But you can also use the voice command. So let's go back to map and let's try, and I'm not even going to push the button. I'm just going to, you can use the word ID to activate the system. So, hey ID, take me to McDonald's.
Search for Mickey D's in the vicinity. Please select a POI from the list.
4.
Please repeat.
4.
Line 4. Okay, McDonald's, 120, St. Julian Street, St. Peter. Drive safely.
Okay, looks like I may be able to select a couple different routes. So I think if I just tap on this one, that's
Please
going to be the
drive
one.
to the route shown.
All right, this is going to be kind of your indicator as how close to the destination you are. Put that back on the side. Okay, and then there's your light. I wish the road were a little brighter or different colors. It's a little hard to tell from the rest of the map which one is your route. But, the voice command works great. I mean, it's fairly intuitive as you can say generic things, maybe a little slow to respond. But otherwise, it works fairly well. If I hit this, I can change the orientation of the map. And then if I hit down here, then I can mute the volume.
Please drive to the route shown.
Okay, so this is like repeat the voice command that you just gave me for navigation. And I can have the screen set at day, night, or auto. So this one here is just your normal map view, and this one shows your overall route view. Okay, and then you can have range turned on. All right, you can also look under contacts here if there were, and I didn't sync my phone contacts, so there aren't. And then if I go under setup, then I have some things like route guidance, route options. Okay, you can see add charging stops automatically, avoid highways, avoid toll roads, all that kind of basic settings you find in all navigation. Avoid traffic disruption, and you can have it ask you or on or off. Range warning, you can turn it on or off. Road signs on highways, it'll read them, so you can have them on or off, speed limits that is. Okay, and then under road signs itself, you can have a speed alert turned on if you want. Okay, visual, audio, visual, or off, and then you can have it alert you at more than blank over the speed limit. Okay. All right, so quite a few things in navigation there. This car does come with ambient lighting, and there's a lot of light everywhere. We can't see it right now because we're in the daylight, but it's by the door handles, it's in the dash, it's on the floor, so lots of areas. The interesting thing is this is the mood lighting. So right now it's set to infinity, but I could change it to eternity. I could also change it.
Stay like that forever.
That's right. If you use that one, it may not ever come off it. You can change it to desire, euphoria, vitality, and there's more. Then you can press the custom button, but you actually set the custom button up here. So now I can kind of pick my colors. It looks like I got 3 choices here. So if I color 1 here, if I change, there I go. Okay, so I can kind of change it. Oh, I'm gonna make it really weird. All right, and then I can change the brightness of it. So right here, you can kind of see where it's at, which is a really cool graphic actually. If I go here, you can see where it is on the door handles. If I go here, you can see it again where it's in the dash. And that's actually, I really like that feature. It's pretty customizable. I hate my color choice, so I'm just gonna put it back to here. Okay, we'll switch back to infinity. Let's go back to the home screen here, and let's talk about the assist systems. So the way Volkswagen has designed this is, instead of having a list of menu items that you can turn on or off, they just give you a picture of everything. So for instance, if I come up here and I touch this car, okay, lane change system, okay, I can then turn it on or off, and if I turn it off, the car is not colored. Okay, and then I can change the brightness of the warning. And if you look at the mirrors, they actually have little lights on the inside, and that's your blind side warning, blind spot warning, and they will change brightness with that. Okay, let's go back. If I click on this one, this gives me my front assist auto emergency braking, active or not, and then how much of a warning do I want, early, medium, late, or off, and then display distance warning, on or off. Right. And then if I click on the car in front of me, this is my adaptive cruise control, and I can set my distance. If I uncheck that, I can now set my distance to be medium, close, very close, far, or very far. And then if I come back here and I click on the speed limit sign, I can turn that the ability to read road signs on or off, because your dynamic cruise control will respond to speed limit signs. If it changes, it will change as well. All right, if I click on the lane, I can do the lane keeping system, and I can turn it on or off, and then I can have steering wheel vibration added if I want. So, that's it, and it's just a different way to present, but it's kind of neat that they give you the little visual. If I click on the little menu button here, they do give you a traditional way to look at it. So here, if you like that better, you can do it that way. You did notice that when I clicked on it, there was always an I button here. And if I click on it, it tells you what that function does. So if you're confused, you can always just click on that, and it will tell you what it does. Okay, let's X out of there. Let's take a look at vehicle for a minute. Okay, so now we have a menu on the left that shows up. So I'm going to go to the top one, and that's charging. It's not currently charging, so it doesn't really show a whole lot. It does show that I have 76% left. And then I can also turn on a button that reduces AC charge current. Okay. If I go here, I can look at locations for charging. These are saved charging locations. If I go down here, then I can say, well, on the, because I have exterior and interior, and right now I'm on exterior. Whoop. If I click on exterior lights, now I can set duration of exit lighting. I can do duration of entry lighting, and those are my two choices. Kind of like the safety system. So they give you the picture of the car. I can take a look at tires. I can set the tire pressure here. I can give a warning at 150 miles per hour. Well, that's good. Let's go back here a minute. Okay, so all these are the same. I want to look at headlights. This has dynamic cornering lights. So your lights actually swivel, and you can turn that on or off here. Turn on time. You can set the different lengths for that. Automatic headlight control during rain. So it'll automatically turn on that button I showed you to the left of the steering wheel. Convenience turn signals, on or off. Okay, let's go back. And then, of course, mirrors. Okay, synchronized mirror adjustment, on or off. Low, you can have the mirrors lower when in reverse gear. Okay, on or off. Fold in when locking, turned on or off. You can have the wipers turn on automatically during rain. You can have them wipe the rear window when you put it in reverse. And you can also put the wipers in a service position right there. Okay, let's go back. And if I go to interior, you're going to have the same kind of options, but just for the interior. So if I look at the cockpit, I can, driving data, I can reset set start, reset long term, reset the trip odometer. Interior lighting, okay, I can do the cluster panel lighting. So as far as your dashboard brightness and dimness controls, that's there. And, I kind of wish they would just give you a physical button for that, but see, that's what bright looks like. All right. And then if I switch it back dark, then I get that. Okay, so we're going to go back here. ID light, that's the little light bar that's in the very front of the car. It'll give you basic functions. It'll help you with, it'll light up when you do voice guidance. It'll light up when you do voice operations. Like if you get a brake warning, that light will flash. If you're talking to the voice command, it flashes. That kind of thing. And we'll hit that back, and then if I do the roof, you can slide your panoramic sunroof shade down to a certain level, and then it will stop. And you can close it again. All right, under status, you can take a look at service, tire pressure, and miles. So if I click on tire pressure, okay, I have to set it because it hasn't been set yet. But if I did, then I get tire pressure for all 4 tires. If I look at service, I can put the wipers in position, and then it tells me when the inspection is due and how many days. Then if I go here, I can look at total distance or just distance. And then I get both of them showing up here. So this is my current one. And if I look at data, then since the vehicle started, here's how much I've used, here's how miles I've gone, how many average miles per hour I went, and so on and so forth. I can look at long-term information, and I can look at since it got charged instead of since when it started. So lots of information to be found there. All right, so let's talk about the two other screens. These are split screens here. So if I go into here, I got my navigation that shows up along with my media, and then a shortcut to the vehicle and telephone. So if I hit the telephone there, I would just tap on Apple CarPlay, and then it would bring it up. Now, that being said, if you get a phone call, it's going to go right through that system and bring it up for you. Or if you use voice command to do that. The vehicle, we go back to that screen we just had. If I swipe one more time, then I get a little different screen here where I've got my phone, vehicle information, and then I've got settings, media, and help. So doing settings just takes you to things like here on your screen, you can change the brightness, the infotainment touchscreen tone, that kind of stuff. Seatbelt reminder, animated when finger near your screen. You can turn that feature off. I kind of like it. You can turn hand gesture on or off. Okay, and then it gives you, if you can't hear it, it's doing a little swoosh every time I do that, and you can turn that sound off there. This is where you would set your time and date. Okay, your units. You can look at voice operation right here. So you can have a start and end tone. You can have a dialogue session, start and end tone. And then you can set the activation word, which in this case is ID. That's the default. On this particular screen, for some reason, even though Apple CarPlay is playing, it's not showing. And if I have a radio station showing, it's not going to show up there. These are just buttons to get you there. However, if I swipe back one screen, you can see that it's playing. So here you kind of get the pictures, which I really like. I wish they would put that on this third screen here. Okay, I'm going to go back here. We can go down a little bit here. So you do have auxiliary climate control. And if I click on that, you can set like a temperature for departure times. So the driver's area would be heated up for you. You can set your departure time here, and then you can look at your climate and turn the automatic window defogger on. So you can click on the front two seats, and then you can go back here, and the auxiliary climate will affect both. If you don't want to be kind to your passenger, you can deselect their seat and go back here and set the temperature. Kind of wish they just put both those buttons right in the same screen. For some reason, you can't click on those seats from this screen. Okay, but when you're charging your car, when you want it ready, you can set that temperature, which is a nice feature. I can also, under settings, I can start the auxiliary climate control when I'm unlocking the vehicle. All right, let's hit the home button here. And you know, that's the screen. That's the infotainment screen. Coming down below, you're going to see that there is swipe climate controls everywhere. You got to push like a button here to turn everything on or off. Okay, and back on again. And then you can adjust your temperature, which you can see here. You can tap or you can slide. And you've got the same thing for the passenger. This is a dual zone auto climate control system. And then of course you have volume here. And again, if you want to get to your fan speed, you have to hit the climate button, and then you have to adjust it there. And you also do have other functions like your recirculatory, max AC, everything. Basically, you know, the only thing you can do with a button without going into the screen is change the temperature. So everything else is done in there. Now, there's something called Smart Climate, where you can just select, like, I want a clear view. I want warm feet, warm hands, cool feet, fresh air, quick cooling. And those will automatically make the adjustments and do those things for you. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.